Atlanta, Georgia. Now we find our next guest. She says only 2% of the population are redheads. And guess what? We have one of that 2% right now. Jana Jennings makes music as unique as her fiery hair. At 20 years of age, she has over 50 copyrighted songs already. Get this. She's released 2 albums, an EP, 5 singles, released 22 nominations in coveted music awards, which include 11 nominations for the year 2020. She received the honor of Folk Americana Bluegrass Vocalist of the Year in both 2019 and 2020 at the Josie Music Awards. She has amassed over 50,000 streams on Spotify alone and has built a uniquely dedicated global fan base who lovingly refer to themselves as Jingers. a play on the word gingers, referencing Jennings' copper-colored curls. She began singing in church at the age of 3, so it was only fitting that her first release would be a project of traditional hymns. And she has gone on to great things ever since. Joining us on the Reds Room stage right now, please welcome Jana Jennings to the program. Jana, good evening. Welcome to Reds Room. Nice to have you with us.
It's so good to be here. Thank you so much.
What has kept you musically busy over the last few months? You've done a lot already. I mean, there's a laundry list of accomplishments. What in the last little bit has kept you busy musically?
Recording. I have been recording a new album, and I've been saying that a long time because I've been working on an album that is. Last album I did like a 2-part kind of thing. This time I'm doing something kind of similar, and so it's taking me some time to get everything in order. But I'm having so much fun writing and recording and performing, and so yeah, I've just been really blessed with opportunity lately to share the work that I'm writing and the work that I've already done. So I'm just having fun and enjoying where God has been taking me lately.
Amen. Let's get right into it. What is your first song of the night, kicking off this edition of Reds Room?
Come Thou Fount. This song is kind of a call to worship in some ways. Well, the way that I like to think about it, and I like to think about it as kind of a dedication of our lives to Christ. And so I hope that this old hymn can speak some encouragement to you and that you enjoy. I just love old hymns, so I hope that you enjoy it the same way that I do.
It's one of my favorites. I love it.
Come thou fount of every blessing, tune my heart to sing thy praise. Streams of mercy never ceasing, call for songs of loudest praise. Teach me some melodious sonnet, sung by flaming tongues above. Praise the mount I'm fixed upon it, mount of thy redeeming love. Here I raise my Ebenezer, hither by thy help I'm come, and I hope by thy good pleasure safely to arrive at home. Jesus sought me when a stranger, wandering from the throne of God, he to rescue me from danger and oppose his precious plan. Oh, to grace, how great a debtor daily I'm constrained to be. Let thy goodness, like a fetter, bind incline my wandering heart to thee. Prone to wander, Lord, I feel it. Prone to leave the God I love. Here's my heart, Lord, take and seal it. Seal it for thy courts above. Oh, here's my heart, Lord, take and seal it. Seal it for thy courts above.
Ah, I never tire of hearing that hymn, Tim, not at all. We just played fantastically done. In fact, not long before we took the air, we just played Jane Lavick's version of Kanathan on the radio network. So absolutely love that hymn. And everybody did on Facebook land too. Maury Wyman says, sweet. Tiki McPherson, fellow musician on Redstone, she says, stopping in to say a quick hello. What a lovely voice.
Thanks.
Beautiful, beautiful. Also, Josh says hello, Josh Gammon, of course.
Yes, I was just about to say I needed to shout him out because, like, shout out to Josh Gammon. You know that he made me a fan page group on Facebook.
I'll be darned.
I was like, oh my gosh, that's the nicest thing ever. I'm like that. So he deserves a shout out.
Josh, good evening. Nice to see you tuning in tonight, and welcome to everyone tuning in tonight. Now, you have a lot of like Americana folk influences. Who are some of your influences that have helped shape your music over the years?
Oh wow, there's a lot, and I like to think of my music taste as nothing if not diverse. So
I dig that. I dig that.
So I grew up listening to like 70s songwriters like Carly Simon, Joni Mitchell, Paul Simon, and I really loved the way that they tell stories so personally. That was something that I've kind of clinged to in my own writing. I like Prince, I like Elvis, I like there's just so much variety. But I feel like another thing that's really shaped the way that I make music is what I grew up watching. So my church would have singings, and my cousin is like a big bluegrass artist, and she would have some other big bluegrass bands come. She owned like a music store, and she would have bluegrass bands come to play, and then sometimes there'd be rock bands, and sometimes there'd be singer-songwriter kind of music. And so I would go and watch these concerts, and it just kind of became an organic process of watching people perform and then combining it with what I grew up listening to in the car. So that's the product. This music is the product, and I love the Lord, so I wanted to use it in a way that was, glorifying to Him. So this is how it happened.
That's fantastic. Jana Jennings with us, starting off this Saturday night edition of Red's Room. What is your second song for us tonight that you wish to play?
So I felt like it was fitting to do When I Hear God's Call, because I made a video of it, and it debuted. I'm going to say it really fancy. It debuted on Christian Media Spotlight. So
yes, it did.
I was like, it's a full circle moment right now. So I feel like this is a full circle moment. So I feel like it's only fitting to play this song, an acoustic version. So this song, I wrote the music for. Somebody at my church had approached me. His relatives go to my church. He approached me and said that he had written this song, that the Lord had given him the lyrics, and he wasn't really sure where to go with it from there. And he asked if I would be interested in recording it. And I have this weird thing that I like to record songs that I've written. So I was like, I don't know, I've never really done a song I've never really done that kind of co-write kind of thing before. So I decided this would be my first venture in, because it seemed like a really cool thing and I wanted to do it. So I was looking at his lyrics, trying to learn the song, and I just was hearing what the music should be. I feel like God gave me the tune for it, I guess, like the melody and the chords and everything, and it just kind of fell into place in the right way. And I played it for him, asked if he liked where it was going and he loved it, and we recorded it and put it out, and I hope that it has been a blessing to other people. The message is that you need to be ready to meet the Lord, and there are a lot of things that we can look forward to that this song talks about. Like when we get to heaven, we'll see streets of gold. Maybe we'll see our family members and the mansion that's talked about, and we'll see all these things. But the thing that is most exciting, in my opinion, the one that I'm most happy to see is my Lord, who died for me and gave himself up for me, but he didn't stay in the grave. He rose again, and he is worthy of our praise. So I'm most excited to see Jesus, and if you're there, I'm really going to be excited to see you, but it's also like, get out of my way, I'm going to Jesus. So, I'm happy you're here, but I'm going to sit down at his feet.
More. She's gonna
Let's
take
worship Jesus together. That's
she's gonna
it.
take her seat at the right hand of the Father for sure. We're gonna have one big party up there, aren't we? Yes.
It's gonna be great. We're gonna
As long as it's not like, like a Walmart mob when you're entering on Black Friday, as long as it's not like that, when you're telling everybody to move over, part the seat.
And then Moses just comes and he's like, everybody. And then he can just go. Anyway, jokes aside, we are very grateful, and so that's what this song is about and kind of how it came about. So I hope you enjoy it. When I hear God's call, I'll be ready. I won't look back. I'll step on board the ship of Zion, crossing over River Jordan. I'll leave this world behind. Loved ones wait for me at the finish line. When I hear God's call, I'll be ready. Oh yes, I'll be ready to see Jesus on his throne. Oh, I'm ready to walk the streets of gold, ready my mansion to behold. When I hear God's call, I'm going home. When I meet my Lord, I will praise him, for he's the one who died upon the cross for me. From the grave he rose in power over death, Lord, victory. Let us praise him now and for all eternity.
what a full circle moment that is.
I know. It's so
Ah,
funny.
never tire of that song. As a matter of fact, for those who are watching live at 10 Eastern tonight, that song right there is being added to our radio network as well. So you'll get to hear it for the first time on our radio network as well on live365.com.
Well,
So it'll be
this
on
is
there
exciting.
as well. So just a little tidbit there for you when Rhythm is done tonight. Rock and Ron, our other fellow radio partner, says greetings. Good evening, Ron. Nice to see you. Allison
Hi.
Aldrich, hello. Nice to see you. Looks like
Hello.
Paul Gibbs, another radio friend, is watching tonight. All our radio friends are watching tonight. Good evening.
It's
Nice to see
awesome.
you. I tell you, great to have everyone with us tonight on an all new edition of Red's Room. You've written a lot of songs now. Of course, your bio says you've written over 50 of them so far. What are some inspirations for your songwriting? When you're sitting down to write a song, does the lyrics come first for you? Does a melody come to mind first? Is it a combination of all the above? What's your process to songwriting when you're writing a tune?
So it feels different every time. It also kind of depends on what I'm writing. So I feel like I spread out into a lot of different genres, but mostly I would just write about my life and the way that I perceive things, if that makes sense. So I've always kind of felt like there was a need for um, Christian artists to make music that talked about what we all go through, like breakups, the Christian approach to dealing with breakups, or like the godly way of approaching love, or
The
different
real
things,
life tough stuff.
real
Yeah.
life tough stuff. And I felt like there was kind of a lacking in that sense. So when I write, I want to talk about things that I feel like we're all going through. Maybe it's like we're feeling like we're not accepted, or we're feeling lonely, or we're feeling, just any variety of different ways. So what I
Yeah.
go through and what I perceive, I like to write it down in the way that I feel like God has been leading me through, so that if somebody else maybe is going through the same thing, they can have the same kind of support that I found with like my church family or my Christian friends. And so when I'm writing, I'm really just pulling from my life experiences and trying to convey them in a way that would speak to other people who feel the same way that I do. Um,
Yeah.
and sometimes if I'm doing a co-write, it's totally different. It's like we sit down with a topic and we're like, well, this is what we're gonna write about. Or most of the time, it starts out kind of like a poem. I hear the production and the chords and everything while I'm writing it, and so it's all in my mind until I record it. So it's like, well, this is what it needs to sound like, exactly like this, and that's it.
Is there a song for you that has come together like lightning quick from start to finish? And I'm sure there are others that probably, like you said, went down all the way to the recording, and maybe they started out a certain way and maybe they end up turning out totally different when it was all said and done. I'm sure you have those stories as well.
I do. So a bunch of them, I felt like I sat down and it just kind of happened. I put out a really silly song recently called the Cowboy Song. That So that one was one that just kind of happened to me, and honestly, for a long time while I was recording it, I kept not really forgetting, but forgetting in a way that I wrote it. And I was like, "Oh my gosh." And then I was like, "Well, I wrote this. This is my fault." So I so like I had the idea, and it was kind of like, like in movies where it's like coding that happens on a computer, and that happened with the lyrics. It just kind of and I was like, great, now I have this song and I have to do something with it because I kind of like it. so so I recorded it, and I got one of my friends to duet it with me, and it just kind of happened like that. Then there was another song that I wrote that I hated, and I was like, this is terrible. But then I was going, so I thought it was really bad. But it was because I was playing it with major chords, and then like a year later, I was going through an old notebook and I found it, and I was like, wow, if I did this with minor chords, I wouldn't hate this. And I sat down and wrote it. And so that was one that took a long time for me to get, but I put it out on my first album. It's called Rest in Times of Running. And it's like, if you listen to it, I'm sounding so passionate. Like I was singing with everything I had on that song. So anyway, there's the two different sides of
Love
the
it.
spectrum. Sometimes they just happen, and sometimes it takes a minute to sort it out for it to become what it needs to be.
but it came together in the end. As
It
far as the
did.
rest song, it came together in the end. It ended up being something you're happy with, and
Yes.
I love how you felt a personal responsibility with the Cowboys. So I was like, well, it's my fault. I'm going to hit send on this now. I need to do something with it. Too late.
I was like,
It is getting
exactly.
out there
I
now.
was like, I've made this contribution, and now I'm gonna make everybody listen to it.
Everybody else is going to hear this now.
That's exactly what happened.
That's fantastic. Vanessa Kirsting from Australia. Good evening. Hello, hello. Yes, Precious joining us from France. We're international all of a sudden. That everyone watching. Thank you everybody for tuning in to Red's Room tonight. You have one more song for us tonight, Jana?
Yes. So I'm gonna close out with another favorite hymn because hymns are where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
This one is "How Great Thou Art," and this is a very serious song, so I need to not laugh. I mean, I've been in a laughing mood this whole time, so just give me a minute to compose myself. Okay.
The comment now. Okay.
O Lord, my God, when I in awesome wonder consider all the worlds thy hands have made, I see the stars, I hear the rolling thunder, thy power throughout the universe displayed. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. When Christ shall come with shout of acclamation and take me home, what joy will fill my heart. Then I shall bow in humble adoration and there proclaim, my God, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art.
How great thou art. Jana Jennings, absolutely perfect here on
Thank
Red's
you.
Room. What a way to end that set. Another fantastic choice of him, might I add. After your song airs today, I'm gonna have to back end with that hymn right behind it. I have a feeling that was fantastic. Maury Wyman says one of my favorite hymns. Vanessa,
Same.
who it is Sunday morning in Australia, mind you, she says, perfect reminder to start the day over here. Thank you, says Vanessa. Perfect reminder. Yes. Hello, Vanessa.
Thank
Great to have you
you.
with us. So great. Um, one of my last questions for you before we move on is how do you go through and determine which hymns you want to cover? Are you like, I want to cover all the hymns, or is there a process where you're going through and you're like, ooh, I like that one, I like that one? Do you cover the ones that are personally most important to you? How do you go about selecting which ones you want to cover?
Well, I really like calm hymns. And my favorite hymn writer is Fanny Crosby. I even read her autobiography, which I think everybody should do. Just by the way, just plugging that.
Subtle plug.
Um, so that's one of the ways. Is like I think about what I feel like with my ministry. I have noticed sometimes when I show up to like a singing or something, and I'm going to be singing. I go on after a lot of really upbeat, fun songs, and like people are clapping, and you know what I'm saying, like upbeat, like Southern gospel kind of stuff. And then when I get up, I'm like, we're just gonna have a really peaceful time singing hymns, and so I just feel like that is kind of where I am. I feel like there's music for everything, and we need music that's really happy and shaking hands at church kind of music. And then we also need music that kind of meets us in our quiet time with God. I feel like that has always been my ministry has been like with my gospel music. I try to make music that's gonna give you some quiet time with God, reflecting time, if you will. And so when I'm looking for when I'm hearing a song, or like I remember a hymn that I grew up singing, or I like Come Thou Fount was one that was recommended to me, and as soon as I heard it, I was like, I've got to sing this. I especially love old hymns. Pass Me Not was one that my mom used to sing to all of us when we were like babies. So that one was one that I loved to do. So it really just was, what are ones that have touched my life, and how can I convey them in a way that would help somebody else find some peace in that, and whatever they're going through. So that would be how I picked hymns.
Well, I know he could hear through my headset. It's perfectly acceptable to my furry friend over there. It was peaceful enough to just lull him off to a dog nap over
To
there.
just
Yes.
relax.
Oh yeah, he's just like, this is nice. During that song, he was like, oh, all right, I'm gonna fall asleep to this over here. This
Well,
is
that's
great.
the goal. The goal isn't necessarily to put people to sleep, but
Oh no,
dogs,
this is
yes,
this is
the
a good
dogs
sign
can
for him.
sleep.
That this is good for him. Yeah, it
It's
means you
nap
did well there.
time.
Liz Perry Reynolds, good evening. She says, you are just adorable.
Thank you.
says Liz. Nice to have you with us. Where are some of the places where we can connect up with you if we want to continue following your musical journey on the socials, website information? Where can we connect up with you?
So my website is janajennings.net, Jayna Jennings.net. And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. I'm fairly present there. And I think I post some like quality inspirational quotes and memes every once in a while. So, and also like what I'm doing in music. What's more important? No, I'm just kidding. Music. The music is at most importance on my page. So you guys can follow my Facebook page, and you can just look up my name, and I should be the only redhead that pops up.
Only wait, wait a minute. Music takes backseat to shenanigans? Wait, I'm doing this all wrong. Music more important? That explains a lot.
I don't
Okay.
know. I feel like
Oh,
music is a
jeez.
shenanigan in a lot of ways. So
Ooh, you're not wrong. That sounds like a phrase that belongs on a t-shirt or something. Music,
music is a
music is a
shenanigan.
shenanigan.
That's coming out on my new merch line, guys, later this year. Get your Jana Jennings merch.
Get your music like a shenanigans shirt today. Yes.
Click the link in my bio, guys.
Red says, can't believe that my facial hair used to be as red as Jana Jennings' hair at one time.
That's
Used,
happy.
used to be is the key word there. Apparently we are doing this right. She says, never. Shenanigans first. So apparently we are doing it right. Says me too, old hymns was raised on them. Yes, indeed. Jada, so privileged and so honored to have you a part of the show. What a great way to
So
start
honored
tonight
and
here
privileged
on
to be
Red's
here.
Room. Yeah, she says you belong here with us, Jana.
We had a good time. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yes, we did. Thank you, Jana, for being with us. Many blessings to you personally and professionally. May many opportunities continue to open up for you. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your gift here tonight on Red's Room.
Thank you so much.